So in this video we will be covering the basic commands of Linux, like how to create a directory, how to create a file inside the directory, okay, how to write the content in the file. Okay, let's get started with how to create a directory. In Windows, usually we create the directory by right clicking and going to the new, and then here we have a command which is mkdir. For example, it is mkdir project1. Okay, if you see, it will be listed here that we have created project1. Okay, so if I want to go inside the directory, there is a command called cd change directory of project1. Okay, and now we are inside the project1. So if you want to see whether we are inside the project1 or not, we have a command called pwd, that is present working directory, and you can see here we are under /root/project1. All right, so if you see, there's a command called ls-l, which does the listing of the files, long listing of the file. So it is 0. So that means the directory is empty. So how we have in Windows, we double click on the directory and go inside the directory. Similarly, you have a command called cd where you can go inside the project1. All right, so let's go ahead and create a file. There are different ways of creating a file. One of the ways is going with the command called touch, which creates an empty file. For example, if I want to create an empty file, just touch file1. Okay, so it has created a file, but if you see, the file is empty, it's a 0 byte. Okay, so we'll try to add some content to that. Okay, so for example, if I want to add something, we can just go ahead and use vi command or vim command. It is similar to your notepad. So if I want to write something, the command will be vi space file1, and then we press enter. It will open editor. Okay, and this editor is in the read-only mode now. So if you want to write something, you have to press escape and then I, and this, if you can see here, it's now in the insert mode. Okay, you can just go ahead and write, this is the file 1 we are working on. Okay, so if you write something, then to save it, you have escape, press escape and :WQ. This saves the file and you are back. If you see now, by using ls-l command, you can see that the size of that file has increased. If previously it was 0 and now it is 37. So there is some content in the file 1. So how do you go ahead and see the content of the file 1? There are various commands. So very popular command is cat, where you can just say cat file 1. Okay, and then gives you the content of this file, which we have written here, which says this is file 1 we are working on. So now you can see here that we have created an empty file 1. Okay, after that we have used vi, or you can use vim also. Okay, so with file 1, which is the editor, and we open the editor, we have went to the insert mode. We have inserted few line there, and then we have saved it using the :WQ, and we are back to the command prompt. So this is for creating a directory and creating a file using the vim or vi command. All right, so let's go ahead and see if we want to create multiple directories. For example, if I want to create a directory under directory, so how can we do with a single command? All right, so it will be dir -p, and if I want to create a under project, that will be /root/project1. Okay, and then you can say that, for example, if it is a dev, and under dev we are using something like our data. So in this, press enter. So what this does is it will create the directory which are not there. Okay, so let's go back. Where are we? Just want to check. We are in /root/project1. So if we say ls-l long listing, you have a directory dev. We just go to cd dev, and then we do again ls-l, then it's an Aura data here. So at one shot you are creating multiple subdirectories. Okay, if -p are not using, then you'll have to do cd, again go to dev, and then create mkdir Aura data. All right, so if you see here, how do you know whether this is Aura data is a directory or not? You can see the color here, or as well as you can see at the extreme left side you have something like D stands for directory, and if you see for the file there is a only a hyphen, so that indicates it's a file. All right, so this is how we create a file and a directory. Okay, so now let's go back to the /root/project1 where we have our file. So there's a command called cd.dot which takes you to the parent directory, and now we are inside project1. All right, so we have file1 now. So let's go ahead and create file2, file3. Similarly, there's one more command called as echo, and then we can just do echo, and then right here this is file2, and then anything that you want to write, and then you can give file2. So this will create file2. All right, so this is one way of, if you have a very smaller content and if you want to write something, you can use echo and then followed by the content and the file. So we have this file1 and file2. So let's go ahead and see how do we copy this file. All right, so in Windows it is simple. You right click, copy and paste it somewhere else. In Linux you have a command called cp which does the copy of the file. So if I want to take a backup or copy this file1, okay, to, for example, if I want to make it as file1 dot bkp, right, so that will be file1 dot bkp. So if you see, this is copying the file 1 to file1 dot bkp. All right, so this has created a file. Okay, and sometime back we talked about touch is a command which creates the empty file, but touch also updates the timestamp. For example, if I want to update the timestamp of file1, which was created on 1551, so you can just do a touch and then file1 and then see ls-l, you will see that it has updated the timestamp of this particular file1. All right, so now if I want to take a backup of file2 with the date, say we want to create a file2 with the date of today's, okay, we can just do file2 dot, just do date minus capital I, and then enter. And then if you see here, it creates a backup of the file with that particular date. All right, anytime you're working on any configuration files under etc, and if you want to take, you are doing it backing up, and then you want to see when was the file last time backed up, so you can use this command. Comes very handy, and you can run this command, it will help. All right, so that is one of the commands. So going ahead, we will see how we can remove files. All right, and remove a directory. Okay, so these are the basic commands that if you're starting with Linux you should be knowing. Okay, so to remove a file, it's rm, okay, and followed by the file1. If I want to take out the file1 backup, it's just copy that, paste it. Give me a minute here. Okay, so it's rm space file1.bkp, that is what we want to remove, and it'll ask you remove regular file1.bkp, you say yes, and then it removes the file. All right, so similarly, if I want to remove dev, right, and you can run a command which is rm dir, okay, and then say dev and press enter. Okay, so now it says fail to remove dev directory is not empty. So rmdir command works only on empty directory. Since this directory has one more directory, if I want to see, I'll do ls-l, and then it says it has Aura data, one more directory, it will not remove it. To remove a directory, there's a command rm-r, right? And then you can give dev, okay? So you can just press enter, it will ask you, and then say yes, this in the directory, and then it will ask you a directory, dev directory, yes. And when you say ls-l, you see that dev directory is not dead. You also have a command called rm-rf. There's a very uh, you know aggressive command which removes everything without informing you. So it's very dangerous if you run rm-rf star, and if you are somewhere in the root directory. So before using rm, you'll have to be doubly sure. All right, so ensure that you run rm-r and don't use f most of the time, so that you get the acknowledgement. All right, so we have created the file, we have copied the file, we have removed the file. So what if I want to rename a file? All right, so if you see here, you have file 2 in Windows. If you can just right click on that file 2 and then rename, it renames. But in Linux, you have a command called mv. And then, for example, if I want to rename file 2 to test2, okay, so there's a command called mv which does the renaming. Okay, so now it became test2. So mv is the command. Mv is used for also cut and paste thing. Okay, so if you have something like test2, and then if you want to paste it somewhere under temp, okay, it does that. All right, so it removes here and then it pastes it in the temp directory. Okay, that is test2. You see here it has pasted there. So that's a move command, you can use it. All right, so apart from cat command that we are actually seeing, for example, if I am seeing file 1 in the cat content, there are other commands with which you can see the files. So now, since this file is very, it's only one line, let's go back to a file where you have cat anaconda file. Okay, and it's a long file. All right, so to see only few lines, you use the more command page wise. So you have anaconda, then it gives you page wise, and then you can use the space bar and you can keep reading the file. All right, you can also read the file, large file, with using head command. Head will give you a top 10 file lines of that file. So you just say enter and it will give you the head top 10. Okay, so if you want to see more of that, you can use -n and then say 20 and then run it. It will give you 20 lines. Similarly, if you are interested to see only the last lines of this particular file, you have a tail command, tail anaconda, G. It gives you last 10 lines. All right, however, if you want to see last 20 lines, you can do -n and then run a 20 and see the last 20 lines. So there's one more good command on tail command which is used while you troubleshoot. You can use -f, which gives you the latest information, you can just say tail-f and varlog messages, for example. It will keep telling you, it keeps giving you the information as and when the line gets added to the message file. All right, so that is the tail head command that yes, saying now. So apart from that, for example, there's one more interesting command called as WC, that is word count. For example, if I want to see the how many lines are there in our example of cat anaconda. So if I just want to see that, you can use WC-L. It will give you the line count at around 245 lines in that. All right, so you can use that command, or if I want to see how many processes are running total, so I can just use this and say somewhere around 85 process which are running on this machine. All right, so this is the basic commands on Linux to get started. All right, apart from that, if you want any information related to anything, for example, if I want to get the information on man, all right, head command, so you can just do a man, that is manual. You'll get a lot of information. That's a manual page, and you can get all the information here, and just it'll give you what is the purpose of this and what are the options available here can be seen here. Okay, so man is a very good and information. You don't have to go anywhere. You can just get more information using the man command. All right, so this is a basic introduction to Linux commands. All right, in our next sessions we'll cover more commands on this.